2001 Flash game developed by Templar Studios for the LEGO Bionicle toy line. And I'm really excited to bring this to you all. And thanks to all of your generous donations to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, this will actually be an all cutscenes run. We've upgraded it from any percent to any percent all cutscenes. So we get to feel the full unmovable force of the Bionicle lore from 2001. I'm really excited. Timing is actually going to start up when I restart the game, and it's going to load into this screen right here. So you'll see the screen go black for a bit, and then it'll be time as soon as it fades in. So I'll count it down as well. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so because this is an all cutscenes run, we actually need to take a quick little detour from the normal any percent route. We are starting off with the sort of prologue backstory cutscene that explains the lore of Bionicle from 2001. The general idea here is that you have the Great Spirit Madanui, who is sort of the good god of this universe, who created the island and all of the villagers, the Matoran on the island, who made their six villages and ended up naming the place after the Great Spirit Madanui. But unfortunately, the evil spirit Makuta arose and ended up sort of taking over and pulling Madanui down into a deep slumber. And so the general idea of the entire, plot is trying to reawaken the Great Spirit Madanui. And in doing so, Makuta was also able to take control of the Rahi, the monsters and animals of the island. However, fortunately, 6 heroes known as the Toa fell from the sky in canisters, and it is their destiny to defeat the evil corrupted Rahi and eventually defeat the evil Makuta and reawaken the Great Spirit Madanui. So I hope you remembered all that because it'll be on the test. There's just a fun little parable showing the backstory of the series. Bionicle lore is surprisingly complex for something coming from a toy line. And it got even more and more so as the years went on. Like after 2003, everything started going off the deep end. But in 2001, it was still pretty simple. We're actually taking another detour here, going off towards Takoro here to learn a bit about how Toa-Tahu was discovered here. It turns out this game is actually immediately picking up where Bionicle GBA left off. If you remember, Bionicle GBA was the run that I ran yesterday for this marathon. I almost went the wrong way there. And it ends with Takua just sort of on the beach seeing the canister that had just washed up. Tahu had just arrived, and that's immediately where this game picks up. So we have a cutscene here sort of showing what happened immediately afterwards. Tahu has just arrived to the island, and Jala here, the captain of the guard, thinks it's some sort of monster or a weird Rahi that he's never seen before or something like that. So he's going to sort of try to capture him. This cutscene's pretty funny. Some of these cutscenes are really funny, and really this entire game is very beautiful in the audiovisual aesthetic, and it's pretty fantastic for a 2001 Flash game. Look at that. That is so cool. They put a lot of effort into this. Templar did a great job here. I also love how they're able to get so much sort of emotion out of these little masks and the little eye holes. So as Tahu is about to fight the guard, Vakama actually shows up and tells them all, nope, this is the chosen one. This is the hero. He's a good guy. He's gonna stop Makuta and save Madanui. So it's a good thing he came in there, or else Jala may have been toast, literally. Not the bread part, but the burned part. This is a neat little line here. Vakama talking about the arrival of another in a prophecy he doesn't yet understand. That's foreshadowing to the 2003 story arc of Bionicle. They were thinking that far ahead. It's pretty neat. Almost clicked on the wrong thing here. So this is the final extra cutscene of the run for the all cutscenes run. This is sort of showing what happened to Gakuro here. We meet Maku, and Maku is, pleading for our help, saying, "Help us, the village has been attacked." This Terracotta here, this Rahi, sort of trapped everyone in a hut and sunk it underwater. Also, don't worry about the fact that we're in a completely different place now from when we were talking to her before. Just don't worry about it. And now is basically where the main any percent route picks up here. So we're going to start off the run with a lot of RNG. Not a lot, but one big point of RNG. We're going to have to find a gear to fix the broken pump. And that gear can be on one of 4 different screens underwater, and we're going to hope it's on one of the first couple, just because that's faster. There it is on the first one, and I missed it because I'm stupid. There we go. So we got pretty lucky there. And we're going to fix the pump here. And that's going to cause the hut to raise back up from underwater. Somehow that hut was like watertight, or airtight, or yeah, the water didn't come in and they could breathe somehow. That's some good engineering right there. The Gakuronins are pretty good with that. So the Terracotta shows up to, try to destroy things again, I guess, and Golly, one of the Toa here, is here to save the village. The game audio is a bit quiet here, and that's because with some cutscenes in the run, the audio does get quite a bit louder. So I'm keeping the game audio a little bit quiet. I could maybe afford to bring it up just a little bit here. You'll see the sound mixer pop up here for a moment. I just want to be extra careful with that. Let's try that. So, now that the Terracotta has been defeated by Golly, we're going to be moving on to Pokoro. There's going to be a pattern here of us sort of, solving a puzzle and then waiting for the Toa to come and fight the bad guy. So, in Pokoro, the villagers there really like their soccer. Kind of like the UK, but instead of calling it soccer or football, they call it Coley. And this is their star Coley player, and he is not feeling too good. It turns out there's this sort of illness that's sort of sweeping through the entire village, and no one knows how it's spreading. Oh wait, it's probably spreading through the Coley balls, because if you look at this... Ugh. So we find that's now in our inventory, and we're going to show that to the Turaga, the village elder here, and he's just sort of going to explain what's going on here. He's saying, oh, hey, maybe people are getting sick through these Coley balls, and they're not just regular Coley balls, but they're the special kind that this new guy who just sort of showed up at the village one day is selling. It's only these that are spreading the illness, and so we're supposed to investigate because he can't do it himself, or else the entire village is going to revolt because, dang, they really like their soccer. We just picked up a peg. We stole it from that guy, and it's RNG which one you get. There's 6 different ones, but it doesn't save or lose time because it just changes which thing you click on that screen right there. And we are moving on here. So we're about to play a mini game. This is the Coley mini game, and we're going to be controlling Pohatu during it. The goal is to kick Coley balls at these pillars here to destroy them and sort of bring down the cave where all these Coley balls are being held. And the issue is that the controls are a little weird here, and of course you have the Nui Jaga, who is trying to play goalie against us. So the idea here with the controls is that you hold down the mouse button to charge up a shot, and then you release it to fire the shot. The problem is that there's a bit of a dead zone, or like a cooldown time, from when you fire a shot and when you can actually charge up the next one. And if you click the mouse during that time, it just eats your input entirely. So what I'm attempting to do here is still, go fast, but not too fast that it starts eating all my inputs. At this point, the goalie is realizing, oh, hey, there's only 2 pillars left, so he's gonna, sort of be a bit more narrow in his pattern, so I'm sort of bouncing him back and forth and manipulating his AI so that I can hit them pretty quickly. That was a good mini game, by the way. So with that, we have brought down the cave, and we can get out of there. Fun fact, this cutscene is like the one cutscene with dialogue that you can mash through the dialogue. Normally you have to like wait a few seconds between each click, but for this one, for some reason, you can just spam click through it. It's so considerate for them to take that really long dialogue and let you mash through it like that. And so moving on now, we're going to be headed into Onukoro. And this crab here, this is Puku. Puku is going to be our best friend later because she's going to allow us to do the one glitch in this run. So stay tuned for that. It's not going to be for a while though, unfortunately. It'll be after we get the fast travel item. We're going to take a bit of a detour before going to the main part of Onukoro here. We're going to be going down into this mine shaft, and there's a miner down there who is having a bit of trouble. He cannot dig through this rock layer. It's just resisting everything he throws at it, and it's also got these weird markings on it. He thinks that they look like astrological markings, and so he says, "Hey, do you know an astrologer?" And we say, "Yeah, we definitely know an astrologer." Now, we have never talked to an astrologer in our lives, but we're going to say that anyway, and that's because the game sort of never checks to see if you've ever talked to the astrologer in Gakoro before, so, you don't actually have to talk to them. You can just, just tell the guy, "Hey, I know an astrologer." So he gives you the letter to the astrologer, and we're going to follow up on that later. For now, there is an issue where these guys are trying to dig a tunnel into the next area, LEGOthon, and they're having some problems because they got cut off from their supply of light stones. Light stones are how they're able to see through the tunnel, and they got cut off because this lava main broke. So we just picked up a lava board because heck yeah, and we're gonna lava surf across the lava and get to the pump and fix it. This is a puzzle with a random starting configuration, but it's always solvable, and there's always a consistent way to solve it. So that was a random configuration, and fortunately, it only took 3 clicks to solve it, which is pretty lucky with that. And it just so happens that as soon as we fix the pump, as soon as they're able to get their light stones, they're able to break through immediately afterwards. Like, right then. It's been like, 10, 20 seconds since we fixed the pump and gave them their light stones back, and they're like, "Okay, we made it through." So we have a yes or no choice here for whether we take Taipu here with us to go to LEGOthon, and we're going to say no, because if we say yes, then we have to watch a little mini cutscene of him getting attacked by a giant bug, and that wastes time, so we're not going to do that. And we just picked up the most important item in the game, the flute. Unfortunately, it's not too terribly important right now, because right now it just has one song on it, and you play that song and it triggers this cutscene where these guys are like, "Oh, hey, that's not a monster, that's a person who knows how to play a flute." And so now we can see what the problem is in LEGOthon right now. The Nui Rama, the giant bug monsters, are attacking. I hate it when that happens. And they're abducting the villagers and taking them off to their hive to be slaves. And we gotta stop that. So we are about to start off a minigame right now. This is the bird minigame. And if you've played this game before, potentially as a kid in 2001, you may remember this minigame as being very unfair and hard. It turns out it's actually not. So the idea is that you're supposed to, shoot down these bugs that are flying by, and if you get hit 3 times, you have to start over, and it's just not fun if that happens. Fortunately, only a small fraction of the bugs can actually hit you, and they all follow the same pattern. They're going to come up from the bottom, go to the right, and I click on them right here. I just hover my mouse right here, and then that turns this entire section into an auto-scroller. And so we don't really have too much going on right now. If there are any donations waiting to be read, now is a fantastic time for that.
Funny you asked. We got 2 donations the last round that I didn't get a chance to read.
All right, fantastic.
So we got $20 from Anonymous that just said, "For nice Nord Key Bionicle speedrun." I don't know what that means, but thank you for your $20.
Nordkey is another screen name that Andrik B uses for different social media platforms. He ran
that would make sense.
Yeah, he ran Legend of Mata Nui earlier today, and that was a fantastic run.
That much I know. I just wasn't sure about Nordkey.
Yeah.
We also got $4 from TSG that says, "I hate money." Yes, you do. Thank you.
Thank you for throwing it this way. All right, so we are actually, I'm going to preemptively reload here just to be a bit safer here. Everything from this point on in the minigame cannot hurt you. So it is literally just a cutscene at this point. And we're about to see what's been happening to cause all of these giant bugs to go berserk. Apparently the giant bug monsters have not always been this evil, but something is sort of controlling them to cause problems. And it's not just that the evil Makuta is controlling them. Something a bit more sinister is going on, as we're going to see. Even the village elder, the Turaga, has been captured. Oh no, I wonder what that was. Something just jumped up into the air and hit us. That does not look good. So this is Toa Liwa. He has been corrupted by the evil Makuta. Liwa has had a bad track record in the Bionicle lore with getting mind-controlled. He gets mind-controlled by Makuta here, and he also gets mind-controlled by Akrana in the 2002 arc of Bionicle. He is just not very lucky with that. So, essentially, Liwa is being mind-controlled by Makuta, and Onua has to sort of knock him out of it. Fun fact about this, the original script for this game used to be a lot darker in this part. In the original script, Onua actually did not know who Liwa was, because, you know, they all just arrived here. They all just got here. And Onua did not know who Liwa was, and so he thought, oh no, it's a really big monster who's leading all the bug monsters. Better kill him. So, thankfully they sort of revised that bit to be a bit more chill. You know, they knew who each other were at this point, and Onua knew that he just had to knock him out of it. He had to stop the mind control. So he did that, and we stopped Makuta from controlling the giant bugs, and we're able to head back to Lake Koro. And don't worry about Liwa having a golden mask now. That's not canon, apparently. So we are about to pick up the fast travel song for the flute, and that is going to be a really big important point because it allows us to fast travel to any place we've been to before. And we are also going to use it to demonstrate that one glitch that I talked about, the one glitch in the run. But before we do that, we're going to follow up on that astrologer that I was talking about earlier. So we're going to go to Gakuro and talk to the astrologer. We are going to give the astrologer the letter inside a dialogue. This is a bit dangerous in this game, because sometimes it just will not give you the arrow to progress, and in some cases, like this case, that's a soft lock. Fortunately, I do have safety saves, but I would still rather it not happen. So fortunately, we did get the arrow, so we were able to progress. So now that we gave the astrologer the letter, we got a stick that we're going to put in the middle of that rock layer. And this is that glitch I was talking about. I'm going to set it up right now, so give me just a moment here. Alright, so I just played the first 7 notes of the 8-note fast travel song during a cutscene so it doesn't waste time. That's one of the few cutscenes in the game where you get access to your inventory and you can play the flute. So we play all but the final note of the song, and that's going to allow us to fast travel with just one click later on. But for now, turns out this thing is a sundial. That's what the astrologer told us. He said, hey, this is actually a sundial, and there's a weird mark on the number 4, so we shine a shadow on the number 4, and whatever this is happens. We'll be coming back to this at the very end of the run, so don't worry about that. And unfortunately as well, we're not going to be able to take advantage of that glitch I was talking about until quite a bit of time from now. Yeah, well, I'll bring attention to it when it happens. Basically, the next time we fast travel, it'll be with 1 click instead of 8, which saves a few seconds, and we do that a few times throughout the run. So right now, what we're doing is we're going to Jala here. He is the captain of the guard, and we need to get to Kokoro to see what's going on there. And he says, hey, if you join the guard, I'll assign you to Kokoro. And we're like, heck yeah, we like the military. So we're joining the guard, and we're going to go to Kokoro, and yeah, we're going to see what's going on there. We just got a badge that's going to allow us to ride the cable car up there. Got some weird movement here. Unfortunately, I went the entirely wrong way. There we go. And we are now taking the cable car up to Kokoro, and Kokoro is going to be our next sort of place where we get to see a Toa do all the cool stuff while we sit and watch and maybe solve a puzzle or something. Really, our goal here is to talk to the Elder in Kokoro. The Turaga, Nuju, has got some really interesting prophecies for what's going to happen at the end of the 2001 arc of Bionicle, and we want to hear that. We want to get in on that. But first, we got to get to the Kokoro city proper, so we got to solve this real quick. This is just sort of making sure you know who's who in the Bionicle universe, and so it's got like all the different elemental signs, and then you line up all the Toa and the Turaga. And it turns out Nuju, the elder, the Turaga of this village, does not speak English because he's too good for that. So we need to find a translator. The translator is also a hunter, and he is out hunting, so we have to go out in the wilderness to find him, and that's a bit of a problem. So he left these 3 flags that we have to find. There's 1. These spawn randomly. There's 2. We're getting pretty lucky. Can we go for a 3? Ooh, it's not looking like it. So these just choose randomly whether or not they want to spawn. There's the 3rd one. That was pretty fast. And then after that, we also have to just sort of wait for the screen to go white here. It looks like we're getting really lucky. Wow, that was incredibly lucky. This is a really fantastic run. So this text says, beware the swarm in Matoran language. That's a teaser to the 2002 arc of Bionicle, the Borak Swarms. I've been asked before, do you need to know the Matoran language to be able to play this game, or to speedrun this game, and the answer is no. It like really serves no benefit besides just like, hey, I know what that says. So yeah, there's also some more teasers towards the 2002 arc, the Borak Swarms, later on in the run, especially a very, very obvious one at the end. And then also there was that one in the there was that one in the sort of cutscene area with all cutscenes run at the beginning, that one line of dialogue by Vakama. That's a very obvious reference towards the 2003 arc. So, our hunter is getting attacked by this giant bull creature called a Muwaka, and Kopaka is here to help. Wow, this hero is so cool. Ha ha. Alright, so with that done, we have our translator back in the village, and we are going to finally have the words of the Wise Elder translated, and he's going to tell us some interesting things. The idea is that all the Toa, the heroes, are going to go down underground to fight the big bad guy. The issue is that they're scared that the entrance to the cave is going to get collapsed by the monsters, so we have to defend the entrance while they're underground. That's the idea. So, there we go. That was actually the fulfillment of the flute buffer glitch that I was talking about earlier, so I only had to click once to fast travel instead of playing an 8-note song on that thing, and that's the one glitch in this run. So now, we got a letter from Nuju, and we need to give it to all of the Turaga, and that involves giving them an item inside a dialogue. And if you recall what I was talking about earlier, you may be a bit concerned about that. Because, you know, giving items to people in dialogues can cause that arrow not to show up and cause the game to soft lock. Fortunately, that can't happen too often here because we have fast travel now. So for most of these cases, we can give someone the item and then immediately fast travel out of there, like so. So you don't even need to, click on the arrow when it comes up. So even if it doesn't come up, you're just off to the next place already. Now this one is a bit different. We could fast travel if we wanted to, but it's actually faster not to because the next place is so close. Fortunately, we did get the arrow, so we can just walk. Because, the fast travel makes you watch that cutscene of the bird flying down, and it takes a bit of time when it would deposit you, like, just right here. We're going to set up another flute buffer. There we go. So the next time we fast travel will be faster now. Now this one's a bit more scary because the game does soft lock here if you don't get the arrow. We did get the arrow, so we're good. So we don't have a soft lock. And now we're going to move on and give the letter to the final Turaga, Vakama. Actually, what am I doing? I need to fast travel. So, we got to play just that last note because of the flute buffer. Easy a peasy. And now we're going to sort of collect a Fellowship of the Ring here to help us defend the area. First off is Kapura. Kapura is one of my favorite characters in the game and in Bionicle in general. He's just really, really neat. He also doesn't talk a lot, so that dialogue was really fast. He wants us to go talk to Vakama, but we don't actually have to. So we just picked up 2 people into our party. And we're about to pick up a 3rd. We're going to have 6 people in our party in total, not including us. Because apparently we don't count. We can't actually fight for some reason. This is Tamaru. He is a bit of an oddball because he is a lay Coronin who does not like heights very much. But he is going to join us. Oops. Hopefully this works. There we go, we're good. The fast travel is a bit finicky, but we made it happen. But Tamaru here does not like heights, but we'll see what comes of that later on. Next, we're going to pick up Hafu, who's another fantastic character. He has my favorite cutscene in the game coming up soon. Hello? That was a bit weird. This guy is so full of himself, and I love it. I accidentally clicked the wrong option there. Let's try that again. There we go. Look at that. We have need of his great skills. We're going to set up our final flute buffer of the run. There we go. So our next fast travel will be just 1 click instead of 8. And this person we're pulling into our party is a bit special. He actually will not go with you unless you have permission from the elder. And it's a little weird because all of the elders have dialogue where they say, yes, you can take this person into your party. But this is the only one where you actually have to listen to it because the guy won't actually go with you unless he has permission. It's just weird. So we're going to go down into that mine shaft and pick up Taipu. And then for our final person, it's actually going to be Maku from the very, very beginning of the game, if you recall. Maku was the person from Gakoro who she had told us, like, help, our city's being attacked. And we went to Gakoro and helped them. So Maku is going to be our final person, and the fastest way to get to Gakoro is to fast travel there. And so we need to get out of the underground as soon as possible to do that. And the fastest way to do that is actually to go to LEGOthon. So we're just going to head through here, through the tunnel that we created earlier to LEGOthon, and then fast travel from there because you can't fast travel from the underground. So we can just click once to do that fast travel, and we are off to Gakoro. And there's guards here now for some reason. Sure. And Maku is going to be in our party now. There we go. So the reason we had to pull all of these people into our party was not only because we're going to use them to fight the Rahi later on, but also in order to get there, we have to have everyone in the party because the game checks to make sure you have everyone by, by having these little places where you have to, use each person in your party to get across. So we had Maku, who owned a boat, who can get us into the waterfall, and Tamaru spontaneously conquers his fear of heights to swing across the gorge. And now for my favorite cutscene in the game, we have Hafu and Taipu gonna clear this rock slide for us. Hello, Hafu. Another Hafu original. I love that so much. Alright, so they got us through the rock slide in a bit of an abnormal way, but we are through, and Kopeke here, our silent Kokoronin here, is going to get us through this door. It's been hinted at earlier in the game that Kopeke is actually a brilliant ice sculptor, and so he's going to help out. Makes a perfect key. Alright, and now for my least favorite part of the run, and pretty much everyone's least favorite part of the run. I'm going to explain this while we're talking about this, or while the Toa here are talking. So next up is the Rahi fights. We're going to fight some JRPG style battles with the party that we have, collected here, against 4 different sets of Rahi. And so there's a few bits of RNG here. Which enemies you fight is RNG, as well as how many in each set, except for the first set. The first set's always one enemy, and it's always one specific enemy. So the first fight, we know who we're going to fight, but the other 3 could be anywhere from 1 Rahi to 4 of them. Obviously, we want to fight fewer Rahi because that's faster. Also, whether or not we hit, whether or not the enemy hits, and for how much is also random. So we are hoping that we fight a small number of Rahi, specifically ones with low health bars, or small health bars, and that we hit a lot for a lot of damage, and that they do not hit a lot, and when they do hit, that they don't hit for a lot of damage, and that they also target our weaker Matoran. That is all RNG. So this is why I do not like this area very much. On top of that, the game can also soft lock here. If you get a particular type of enemy, and the game just decides it really does not like you, it can just soft lock the game. So I hope that doesn't happen. If it does happen, I have safety saves, so we can deal with that if it happens. So here, we are waiting here. There's like a 25-second waiting period where you have to wait, and the idea is that you can talk to people in your party, and he says, like, we have ice fear the fiery Kofo Jaga, but we easily crack the hard Nui Jaga and Sand Terakava. The problem is that half of these enemies that they talk about are not in the game. So what it comes down to is you have 3 good Matoran, which I just queued up, and then 3 bad Matoran, which I just queued up. So I'm going to be prioritizing attacking with Kapura, Hafu, and Taipu, and hopefully they can hit for a lot. We're doing pretty fast here. We'll see what happens with the rest of this, though. One more hit should do it, 1 or 2. There we go. In the middle of these, we have these cutscenes where we're seeing what happens with the Toa Undergrounds, with the Toa Kaita. And, so long story short, let's talk about why we are suddenly seeing what the Toa are seeing, where before we have just been, seeing things through the eyes of Takua the Chronicler. This game was not originally meant to be a standalone game. It was originally meant to be a companion game, where the main game was Legend of Mata Nui, which is the game that was run earlier today by Andrik B. here at LEGOthon. Legend of Mata Nui was a PC game that sort of showed what happened with the Toa throughout the 2001 arc. However, due to development issues, it was actually cancelled, and so they just sort of told the Templar guys, the people making this game, write an ending and show what happened with the Toa. And so they did. So basically the idea is that they shoehorned in this idea of, you have a telepathic communication with Gali, and it's allowing you to see what happens with the Toa. So that's why we're seeing those cutscenes. So we just got 2 enemies here, which is good luck. My best ever, luck in that department. Ooh, that was a really big hit. That's unfortunate. My best ever luck with the number of enemies was 1, and then 2, and then 1, and then 2. So we are on track to match that. I'm queuing up attacks with Hapu and Taipu here because they are hard hitters. Unfortunately, Kapura is also a hard hitter, but he just got knocked out. He will be coming back for the next fight, so that's good. But yeah, he'll come back with really low health though, so there's a really good chance that he'll get knocked out early again. There we go. That was also pretty fast. I'm happy about that. We'll see what happens with the other 2 fights. So, meanwhile, down in the underground, we have the Toa Kaita here, which was a way for LEGO to, let the kids have more fun with the toys, by combining them into 2 Super Toa, Wairuha and Akamai. And they're about to get their butts kicked by a bunch of crabs, so we'll see what happens in the next cutscene down there. But for now, we have another fight to do, and I am hoping that it is going to be just 1 enemy. So we'll see what happens. It is 3 enemies. That's unfortunate. So we are going to hope that we can make it through here without losing too many people. There is one interesting quirk that I haven't mentioned yet. For whatever reason, this is the 3rd fight, so we have 1 more after this. If on the 4th fight, if you lose all your Matoran, it actually treats it as if you won. I have no idea why that is, but for some reason, if you lose everyone on the final fight, it treats it as if you won. So I'm going to hope we can get through this one at least. We are losing people left and right, though. This is going to be down to the wire. If we can take down this guy, this means that, 3 of our people here are going to be at really low health for the 4th fight, so we could potentially lose it quickly, which would be great. That was a good hit. Can we get some more? That was another good hit. Good job, Tamaru. That was a good hit from someone who is not a heavy hitter. There we go. That was fantastic. So, if on the 4th one, 3 of our people, really, 5 of our people are going to be at really low health. If they all die quickly, that is just as fast, if not faster, than if we had killed all the enemies quickly. Now, the issue, of course, comes if we get that 1 enemy that can soft lock the game, so I'm going to hope that doesn't happen. If it does, keep in mind I have safety saves, so we should still be fine for that. So let's see what happens. Let's first see how many enemies we get. 2 enemies, and they are both the type that can soft lock the game. So let's hope that either we kill them quickly or they kill us quickly, because at the end of the day, it is actually the same result. There's one of them down. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. So hopefully they can take out these two quickly. Okay, I thought I was soft locked, but I was not. There's another one, so hopefully they can just take out Kapura quickly. One big hit, please. There we go. Alright, so we just lost all of our Matoran, but it treats it as if we won for some reason. This is the same cutscene that plays, even if you win. So, sure. So we're sort of cornered here by a bunch of different Rahi. Hello, Jala. All of our friends we made along the way are going to help us out here. And we have our final telepathic cutscene with Golly. When we last checked in, they were getting their butts kicked by a bunch of crabs. It actually turns out, they end up finding out, oh hey, these pillars, when it breaks, when this pillar breaks, some of the crabs power down. So they figured out that was the weak spot. Have I mentioned I love the music in this game? It's so good. Alright, so now they are sort of entering the inner sanctum of the evil Makuta, and because of that, it's going to break off our connection with the Toa, so we can no longer see what they are seeing. And so it is now our destiny as the Chronicler to go into the underground and find them. However, for some reason, we can't go down the same way that they went down, for reasons. So we have to find another way in. And it just so happens that there is another way in, and we've been sort of ignoring it for most of the run, and it's actually that sundial. So we're going to take Puku all the way back to Onukuro, and we're going to head down into that mine shaft. And let's see what's down there. Oh, would you look at that? It's actually an elevator to the inner sanctum of the evil god Makuta. Just sort of there, underground, in their mine shaft. This is where Bionicle starts to get quite a bit philosophical. This is Makuta. He's a Matoran. Yeah, in 2001 he's a Matoran. They kind of retconned that in 2003 by making him someone who actually looks intimidating, but the idea here is that he's supposed to be sort of the counterbalance to the spirit of building and the villagers. He's actually the spirit of destruction. Yeah, it didn't really work exactly. So we just get this really, really, deep woke dialogue from 2001 in a kid's game. So the Toa are kind of getting their butts kicked here, and then they realize, oh hey, we have to work together, and apparently working together is firing 6 different elemental beams at the same time. Good job, Toa. Y'all work together or something. And now the question is, how do we get out? We stopped the evil Makuta for now, but we gotta get out of here. So we have one more cutscene here. We have a couple more cutscenes, but this is the second to last one here. And remember how I was saying earlier that there's some pretty obvious allusions to the 2002 arc of Bionicle, the Borok Swarms? That's this. That's a Borok. And we just sort of inadvertently woke up the Borok Swarms. Oh, also, fun little continuity error here. He's going to look through his pack here to find all the different items we found along the way, and the one that he's going to find that's going to save him is this, the chisel that we never picked up. This is an optional item, actually. I'm not sure if it was meant to be optional, but the idea is that you receive it from the Pokoro Village Elder after doing the Koli minigame, and you can turn it in for the Book of Chronicles, which allows you to rewatch cutscenes. We don't care about that because we're speedrunning, but it's just funny how he pulls out an item out of his backpack that he never had in the first place. And we have our final cutscene here. We have a bit of dialogue here, but get ready on time. What's going to happen is that there's going to be some fireworks and a The End screen, and then there's going to be one last little teaser where a Borok jumps at the camera, and then as soon as that happens and the screen cuts to black, that's going to be time. So get ready on that. Get ready. And time. Alright, so we got kicked back to the Book of Chronicles here so we can rewatch any of these cutscenes we watched during our all cutscenes run. 4634 for this. That is an absolutely fantastic run, everyone. I'm really happy with that. And thank you all so much for coming to watch the final Bionicle run of the marathon. I'm very, very happy that the Bionicle community was able to, represent themselves here at LEGOthon and show off our own little mini community here. If you are interested at all in running a Bionicle game, this or any other Bionicle game that was showcased here or otherwise, I'm going to post in the chat, I'm going to post a link here, and that's going to be to the Bionicle speedrunning Discord, so you can join that. And unfortunately, I just got timed out for leaving a link there. But hopefully you can click through that to get the link, and that's going to be the link to the Bionicle Speedrun Discord. There we go. We got it reposted there. Thank you very much. So if you're interested in running any Bionicle game that was showcased here or otherwise, join that Discord and hit us up in the general channel. We will be very happy to help you out. Thank you all for coming and watching this, and thank you all, everyone who donated for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Next up, we have a run of LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 to 4. It's going to be a free play RTA run by the Writing Scribe, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all very much.
Hmm.